Calvert Library, bringing you this week's It's Elementary. Today we're going to learn a bit about Chinese culture, cooking, and the power of play. I would like to thank Aladdin, an imprint of Simon Schuster publishers, for the permission to use this book for It's Elementary. We're going to start off by reading Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao. This book was written by Kat Zhang and illustrated by Charlene Chua. Ooh, there's a note on this page. So bao, the word bao, is a Chinese word. In English, it is spelled B-A-O. And this cat here is telling us bow should be pronounced like bow. You bow to someone in greeting, and not like bow that you wear in your hair, like a bow tie. So it's bow, not bow. And bao is a type of delicious dumpling. Thank you, Mr. Cat. That was very helpful. Amy Wu and the Perfect Bao. She's looking at it. She's going to get it. Amy can do a lot of things. She can brush her teeth. She can tie her shoes. And she can even do both at once. Sort of. But there's one thing Amy cannot do. She cannot make the perfect bao. Sometimes they come out too small. Sometimes they come out too big. Sometimes she adds too much filling. Sometimes not enough. Ooh, it's sticky. And sometimes they fall apart before they even reach her mouth. Amy's mom and dad make perfect bao. So does her grandma. Their bao are soft and fluffy and so delicious. Look at that basket of bao they've made. Amy could eat them all day, and sometimes she does. Today, Amy is going to do it. She's going to make the world's perfect bao. Bao making is an all-day event. Amy's dad starts in the morning mixing together the ingredients for the dough. Then it's time to knead. He pushes the dough. He punches the dough. Amy gives it a try too. Pow, pow, pow. They leave the dough to rise. Amy keeps an eye on it just in case. It grows bigger and bigger and even bigger. If you've ever made bread before, you have to do a very similar thing. You make the dough and then you have to knead it and let it rise and knead it and let it rise. Same case with bao. Amy's dad squishes the dough down just in time. He rolls it into a log and cuts it into pieces. Meanwhile, Amy's mom seasons the meat for the filling. There's her mom cooking. She's adding garlic and mushrooms and ginger and salt and pepper. Their kitchen must smell amazing. Everyone gathers around the table and rolls up their sleeves. It is time to get to work. Amy's bao turns out a little funny. So does the second. It's hard to know how much filling to add. Too little and the bao is sad and empty. Too much and whoops! The cat's happy about that. It's also hard to pinch the bao just right. Oh, look how determined she is. Pinch. Amy watches her mom make a perfect bao. She watches her dad make the perfect bao. And her grandma too. Oh, she made 2 perfect bao. They all try to teach her. Roll out the dough like this, says Amy's dad. Use just enough filling, says Amy's mom. Pinch, says Amy's grandma. But Amy's bao just aren't the same. They are too empty or too fat, or they have holes in them and they leak. Maybe today won't be the day after all. Maybe Amy just can't make the perfect bao. Oh, how do you think Amy is feeling? Her body language looks kind of slumpy. She's looking down. She's frowning. I think she's feeling a little sad. Maybe a little defeated or frustrated. She's been working hard on this. Then Amy has an idea. The pieces of dough were cut for grown-up hands, but Amy's hands are small. Yeah, we grown-ups have big hands, don't we? She whispers her idea into her grandma's ear. Amy's grandma cuts each piece of dough into 2 smaller pieces, Amy-sized pieces, and now they fit perfectly into Amy's palms. Carefully, Amy rolls the dough so it's thicker on the inside and thinner at the edges. She adds just the right amount of filling, and she pinches it shut. And there it is! Amy's perfect bao! What's her body language saying now? Oh, she looks triumphant, so proud. She makes another and another and even more after that. She is a bao making master. Soon all the dough and filling are gone. Everyone is tired, but they're not done yet. Amy's grandma boils a big pot of water. It is time to steam the bao. Amy keeps an eye on the steamer, just in case. All her perfect bao, and all the imperfect ones too, are snug inside. There they are in the steamer on the stove. The timer is set, and she's reading and keeping an eye on the bao at the same time. She's reading Bao Weekly. But her magazine is upside down. I don't think she's really reading. I think she's just keeping an eye on her bao. Then, ding! The bao are done. Amy's mom lifts the lid off the steamer. Whoosh! Out comes a puff of steam, and Amy can't see anything at all. The steam clears, and there are Amy's perfect bao. They're not too big, they're not too small, they have just the right amount of filling, and they do not leak. They are soft and fluffy and so delicious. Amy eats one, and then another. Then she eats one of the not so perfect bao. And you know what? It tastes just as good. Oh, looks like she's at school now. And she has boxes of bao and she's passing them out to all her classmates. That is wonderful. The teacher got one, all of her friends, all the class got them, and she has so many boxes. She must have been making bao for days. That's one of my favorite things about cooking, is being able to share whatever you made with your friends and your family. And even your cat. And at the end of the book, there is a recipe. This is Amy's family recipe. So if you have a chance to check out this book from the library, you can make your very own real-life perfect bao and use this recipe. Very cool. And there's one of her imperfect bao. The end. So we aren't able to make real bao right now, but we can make imaginary bao. So you're going to need a few supplies. We're going to make imaginary bao 2 ways. So you can make them one way or the other way or both. Or you can come up with your own way of making some imaginary bao. So one way I'm going to show you, you're going to need some clay or Play-Doh, modeling dough, in 2 different colors if you have it. I'm using white and brown. You can use whatever colors you have. And even if you just have one color, that's fine too. So dough, pretend dough. An option to use scissors for your dough. You can also just use your fingers. For the second way to make bao, you're going to need some coffee filters, just, plain old regular coffee filters. About 1 per however many bao you want to make. You're going to need a little bit of water, really just enough to get your fingertips wet. And then something small to use as your filling. I'm using some spare pennies I found. You can use paper clips, you can use bits of paper that you rip and roll up. You can use, if you want to combine the two, you can use a little bit of Play-Doh. Anything small, preferably round, just something you can add in as your pretend filling. So, go ahead, you can hit pause to go gather your supplies for your imaginary bao, and then come back and hit play when you are ready, and I will show you how to make some, hopefully, perfect imaginary bao. All right, see you soon. Alrighty, welcome back. Now that we have our ingredients, we can make some imaginary bao. So I'm going to make the modeling dough or clay version first. So you want to pick one color to be the dough. So I'm going to use white, and I'm going to pretend that I mixed all the ingredients in a big bowl and set it out to rise until it was bigger and bigger. And then I'm going to knead it one more time with my fingers, punch it in with my fists, just like I'm kneading real dough. And then I'm going to roll it into a long, do it this way too, to a long skinny log. Roll, roll, roll. There we go. Then we need to cut it into pieces. So I'm going to use scissors. You can also just pinch it with your fingers. So I'm going to cut myself a nice big piece because I have big grown-up hands. But remember, like Amy taught us, you can make it just the right size for your hands to make it easy for you to handle, so you can make your perfect bao. Then we're going to stretch it and flatten it out into a big disc, a nice circle. But remember, it does not have to be perfect. This is the first time I'm doing this, so mine is certainly not going to be perfect. That's why I'm glad I have a chance to play and practice first when I'm making pretend bao. So that is my favorite thing about playing, is that I can practice things in real life with imaginary things. And then that way, when I go to do it in real life, I've already experienced it. I've had some practice, so I feel more comfortable with it. So playing is not only fun, but it helps you practice for the real world. In this case, we have practice cooking. Okay, not a perfect circle, but for my first attempt at bao, imaginary bao, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to take my other color. I'm going to use brown for my filling. I'm going to take a little pinch and then roll it into a nice ball and stick it right in the middle. I'm going to do this a couple times with several pieces. Get them all nice and close. There we go. This one's a little big. Split that into 2 smaller balls. This is also this really good exercise for your hands and your fingers, making all those pinching shapes and rolling shapes. Okay, there's our filling. Then I'm going to take the edges and pinch, 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 like Amy's grandma says. I'm going to pick up the edge and kind of fold it and pinch it as I go along. And whether you're doing this with clay or if you're doing this with real dough, there are some awesome videos on YouTube where you can watch people making bao, and they will show you the correct way of pinching and folding it, so you can watch and learn from the experts. So there, it's all pinched. I'm going to give it just a nice little twist at the end, and hey, if it's leaking, you can pinch it, and look, hey, we made a bao. Nice job, everyone. Perfect. All right, now let's make the other version. We're going to make it with coffee filters and something small. I'm using pennies. You can use anything small. You can even use clay if you have clay. So I'm going to take my coffee filter and lay it down nice and flat. I'm going to take a little bit of water, just touch my finger into it and just dampen the edge of the coffee filter just enough. So it's a little bit stickier. I'm just going to do half of it. There we go. So this half is wet, that half is dry, just so it'll stick to itself a little better. And then I'm going to take my imaginary filling and put it down. Now if you're using something like pennies or something else small like this, or marbles, you just want to make sure if you have younger siblings around that they don't accidentally pick them up and put them in their mouth. So it's always a good idea to have grown-ups watching you and helping, especially if you're really cooking in the kitchen. But even when you're playing pretend like this, it's good to have a grown-up nearby. They can keep you safe and they'll have fun too. I'm just going to wet the rest of it. So there we have our dough, our filling, and the same thing. We're going to pick up the edge and pinch, pinch, pinch. And again, these are our pretend first time ever baos. So they do not have to be perfect. Or maybe you've made bao before in your house. Maybe you can teach me how to do it. All right, just kind of pinch it all together, give it a little twist, and there is our coffee filter bao. Look at that. So you can plate your bao like every good chef. Plating is key. Oops, this one's coming apart. If it comes apart, just grab a little bit more water. Let's give it another little twist. There we go. Grab your chopsticks and enjoy. Thanks for playing with me.
Thank you so much for watching It's Elementary. I hope you enjoyed our story and had fun learning some new cooking skills. Keep an eye on all of Calvert Library's social media pages and website for more stories, songs, and activities for the whole family.